Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not, and as we continue Sequel-A-Thon 2, we are on Dumb and Dumber 2, spelled T-O, because, um, so yeah, this came out in 2014, and I make the joke that, yeah, I saw half that movie once, because I actually did, not like half of the first half and the second half. I mean, technically, I sat there and watched the whole thing, but my attention was not on the entire movie because of stuff. So I only saw half of the stuff that was in the movie. I will tell the story of when I first went to see the movie after I give my rating, because I feel like that if you people are just here for the review, I'll give you the review and you can go. But if you want to hear the story, stay after the rating and I'll tell you the story because it's kind of funny. But yeah, so this takes place 20 years after the first film, both when it came out and when the movie takes place. So it's 20 years later, and apparently Lloyd has been in the mental institution. I'm sorry, hold on. Sorry, the light in my bedroom was on, and I could see it out of the corner of my eye. It was bugging me. So anyway, apparently Lloyd has been in the hospital in a catatonic state since the ending of the last film, where Mary it was revealed that Mary was married, and yeah, although the ending of the first film didn't seem to indicate that at all. They were just walking down the road fine together, but apparently he's been in a coma this whole time, and Harry has been going to see him off and on for 20 years, and then it's revealed that Lloyd was just faking for 20 years, and so he spent 20 years in a catatonic state where Harry had to come and visit him, and we found out that he changed out his coloscopy bags and cleaned his dirty diapers, for which, wait, if we find out later that he changed his diapers and wiped his ass and stuff, but it's like, if he had diapers, why did he need a coloscopy bag? I don't know. And then Harry reveals that my finger just cracked. No, he didn't reveal that. He reveals that he has kidney disease. He needs a new kidney. So they find out shortly afterwards that Harry might have a illegitimate daughter with Freda Felcher. It's a familiar name from the first one. In the second film, we'll get to how the second film, the prequel, is basically non-canon. We'll get to that because yeah, it seems like they go out of their way to make sure everything established in the prequel is not canon. But so they go on a journey to find this illegitimate daughter so they can ask for a kidney to save Harry. And that's the plot I'm going to give you. Okay, so some of the good things in this. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels still have great chemistry. They still have great comedic timing. You get some callbacks to the first one, like I like it a lot. And torturing poor Billy, who instead of just killing his bird, they Lloyd sticks Harry's cat in the in Billy's house when he's gone. And remember, Billy is blind and in a wheelchair, so how does he get it? I don't know. But Billy is blind and in a wheelchair, so you come in, you just see like a bunch of dead bird feathers everywhere. The cat farts and feathers come out of its ass. I don't know how that works, but you think a burp with feathers coming out would work better, but okay. As someone who used to have a bird and was killed by a cat because of a sibling leaving a door open, I feel for Billy. But I do like when the one bird that's still alive because it was with Billy Billy's like, what happened? And the bird's like, the horror, quoting Apocalypse Now. So yeah, that was kind of funny. And the Farley brothers, I don't know how you pronounce it. They're back directing, and they put their own personal seal on this. It feels like it is a sequel to the first one. Unfortunately, it feels like a sequel to the first one in the same way that Home Alone 2 feels like a sequel to the first Home Alone, because they use the same gags. They have some of the same jokes. It's basically the same plot where they have to go across country to find, even it's a woman, it's a female that they're trying to find. And down to the point that Lloyd is somehow in love with her, having not even met her, just a picture. And she's Harry's 22-year-old daughter, played by a 29-year-old actress. Can't you just get a real 22-year-old? Because when they showed her up close, I'm like, that's not 22. She got like crow feet stuff. She's almost 30. She was 29, so I'm close enough. But yeah, there's some of the same gags. It's very familiar. Each to the first one. Yeah, there's even a part that I actually kind of got pissed at, where they find the car that Harry sold for the motorcycle, or Harry sold for the motorcycle in the first one. No, it was Lloyd, wasn't it? But in this one they said it was Harry, but it's Lloyd, right? Because that's when Harry goes, "You totally redeemed yourself." I don't know, but yeah, and then they get it, and it crashes, and they end up on a Zamboni, and it's just like, wait, you teased us with the van, and you just, what? There's a lot of, oh, we're building this up, and then it just pay off. So, yeah, like I mentioned about the prequel, they basically go out of their way to establish new stuff about our characters that completely make the prequel inaccurate. So we know from the prequel that Lloyd was brought up by the janitor in the school and actually lived in the school, but in this one, he talks about how his mom would smoke like a chimney even when she was pregnant with him. So how would he know that? And he even says that later he has a dead dad. So yeah, that's non-existent. And then Harry, who we know was raised by his mother in the prequel, in this one, apparently he was raised by 2 Chinese people. Because he was adopted, I guess. Update on the Xbox. So yeah, and then they talk about other things that really wouldn't, like they knew this guy named Pete Stainer, that died in 1991 apparently, which is why we didn't see him in the first one. So that, I guess that's okay writing. But they knew him since they were kids. There's no character named that in the prequel, so basically you take that prequel and you can throw it out the window. The Farleys, whatever you want to call them, have come back and said, no, fuck that movie. We're not going to acknowledge that piece of shit. We literally had a scene about shit, but it was chocolate. Bob Saget, rest in peace. But yeah. But I think, like, basically it is the same plot, like I said, because they go somewhere and they have Rob Riggle this time, which I think is a little bit, might not funny as Mark Starr, but or Nick Starr, whatever his name was. But Rob Riggle, there's a gag that he's a twin. I don't know if that was necessary, but it's fine. He goes on a road trip. So Harry has a letter from Freda Felcher from 1991, or 1999, apparently. 1991 was the last time he saw her. So, it says she's pregnant. So automatically he assumes he's the father. So he goes to talk to her. We find out that she's played by Kat. I always forget her name. What the hell's the name? Doesn't say. I think it's Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner. Is the same lady who played Chandler's dad on Friends. And yes, I said dad. Watch Friends. You'll understand it. But, shoes, please. I thank you. Sound like a motorcycle. That's just the Xbox. Anyway, okay, got it. So they go to find the daughter. I did laugh at the joke, even though it's kind of something that would be overused, where they followed the returning address, which would be Freda's address, and they end up right back at Freda's house. She opens the door, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're the spinning image of your mother." She goes, "It's me, you dumbass. You followed the wrong address." They follow the right address, and they come back to that later. It was like, "Is your address blah 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 Rhode Island?" And Lloyd's like, "We'll wait." Oh, okay, so wait a minute. Okay. Okay. After talking out there and another distraction.
Sorry.
We're back. Okay, so shit.
Don't ask me, I wasn't paying attention.
God. So something about a joke, right? Shush! Shush, please! They did hush down the tone. Okay. Now I gotta use the restroom facilities. Hold on. Anyone for Asian food? Okay. They do eat Chinese food in this movie, but that's Chinese, not. Anyway. Okay.
Start that over before you start recording.
So, they get. Oh yeah, that's what it was. The gag, where, the envelope gag when Harry's like, "Is your address something 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 Rhode Island?" And Lloyd's like, "Oh, the other one." He's like, "Oh yeah, is it 1112 whatever?" Yeah. So they get to it in Maryland. I think they go to Maryland, which. They're able to get pretty easily. I mean, they get there, and so they find out that Penny, who is the daughter's name, actually went to a convention in El Paso for her father, and she's supposed to take this box that has this big invention that he's created. It's gonna make them billions. And then through some weird plot, we find out that his wife is poisoning him constantly through the food. I feel like I've seen that before. But it was a stepmother poisoning the stepchild. I don't remember if it was like a TV show or movie, but I swear. And maybe it was Psych or something. It was some other detective that figured it out. It was Psych or something. But I figured out that it was the stepmother poisoning. I don't remember what it was, though. I don't know what it was, but it did seem familiar. But she's poisoning the husband. And with this guy named Travis, which is one of Rob Riggle's characters, and he got it from his twin brother, who was also played by Rob Riggle, because twin. But I like Rob Riggle. His first role in this is fine, but then when he plays the other guy, it's just like, okay, you're going a little too overkill with this character who's like when the stepmom goes out, he's camouflaged to the house exactly. They use digital effects, obviously, to help with that, but so they decide that Harry and Lloyd are the ones that are being trusted with the box to take to El Paso. They send Travis with because they need someone with common sense. Although he is a bad guy, but it's technically the same character as the guy from the first one. Only they don't kill him with spicy food. He gets hit by a train. Yeah, see, they start this one-up gang where they fart and then they close the window behind the truck and then he gags in there. And then the next one, he tries to teach them a game called Funnel Nuts, where you put a funnel in your pants and you put the peanut on your nose and you're supposed to make it fall in. But he tricks them because it's all a trick. And so they put the funnel in their pants. And when they go to do it, they have the peanut going up and he dumps slushies down their pants. And then you get the gag. We're like, yeah, we're going to get him as soon as we're done playing this game of Funnel Nuts. Like they hadn't figured out that it was part of the time. And so they're messing with him. And he takes like a cherry bomb, whatever, and pops it off, messes with their hearing. Harry's hearing gets fully blown out. He has to go get hearing aids, which leads to a scene that really doesn't need to be in this film. like if you just had his hearing go back to normal, you could cut out 10 minutes of this film and it wouldn't do anything. We'll talk about the unnecessary scene because it's so unnecessary. But anyway, after they get out, a train runs over their vehicle. And, normally there'd still be a wreckage there, but it's like completely gone. And so they think the guy took off on him. And then later, when they meet his twin, they do not comment that it looks like the same guy. It would be funny if they thought it was the same guy. Oh, hey, how'd you get a haircut? When'd you get a haircut? I thought you left us. Nothing. Are you serious right now? Okay. So the guy's dead. Completely gone. And so they need to get hearing aids. So Lloyd takes Harry to an old person's home, and they ask for, like, oh, it's her grandson. Harry's her grandson, and and they're like, well, who is your grandmother? And they're like, the one with the biggest hearing aids. So they go to this old lady's room, and she's like, they're looking for he's like, oh, I'm your grandson, and uh, and they're like, okay, we need to look for the like spare hearing aids. You know what I mean? And she's like, I know where they are, and she basically makes Harry or Lloyd, whatever one, stick his finger in to the point where he blows on it and dust comes off. And then she gives them her hearing aids for it, and it's like didn't even need that scene to be in the movie at all. So they finally get to the thing where the convention where everything comes together. Right, everyone's there. Freda ends up showing up. The stepmom is there with the captain, whatever, the brother, the army brother, and somehow, because they keep referring to Harry as her dad, somehow they think he is the scientist guy. Don't they have a picture? They don't know what he looks like. We get a cameo from Temby Locke, who was in season 5 of Sliders, which I know I still have to talk about, but I promise I will get to. I promise. And so they just think that Harry is the professor guy, and they go along with it. There's no Ellie there, but again, because it's a Dumb and Dumber film, we gotta have a scene where they split up because Harry realizes that Lloyd wants to bang his daughter, which we do get a couple of fantasies in there, but again, there's stuff you could take out. There's a whole thing where like Harry lives in a trailer park and Lloyd is dating his daughter. I don't know. And I don't know. Those kind of guys weren't even funny to begin with, and like the fantasy things in the first one were funnier, but this was just we had fantasies in the first one. We gotta do it in this one. Basically, that was like we had this in the first one. We gotta put it in this one, sort of thing. But so Lloyd ends up finding. What was her name? Penny. Penny, and they go out to dinner at a Chinese restaurant, which as I mentioned earlier, and so then when he's like, she thinks that he's a friend of her dad, being the dad that she knows, but then he's like, no, Harry Dunn, you're not biological, your biographical father. Yes, he says biographical. That's it's a biography, not biographical father, Harry Dunn. And so she's like, okay, but I have to go. I don't know, okay, but she's like, I have to bring that baggage to the thing. Turns out, okay, so this is when she can't get back in because she doesn't have a pass. But like, she was already there. It should already be checked in, right? I don't know. And apparently she had these Canadian guys that were friends watching out for her. I mentioned that because that is important later. So Freda shows up, the stepmom and the captain guy show up, and the captain guy, at this point, still Harry and Lloyd are still apart, and so Harry finds Freda and Penny. They're all like held by gunpoint in the bathroom by the captain, we'll call him. And then Lloyd shows up, having gone to Mexico and back by now, apparently, to get his kidney stitched out so he can give it to Harry. All right? And so then the stepmom shows up and says, okay, let's get him. But then they get the box, and he turns on the stepmom, and the box contains cupcakes, which Lloyd already knew about, and he ate the chocolate ones but left the vanilla ones for science, I guess. Like, why would he think the cupcakes? What if you needed one chocolate and one vanilla to save the world, and you ate the chocolate, which means you can no longer save the world? What if one chocolate cupcake and one vanilla cupcake was the cure for cancer? And now there's no more chocolate cupcake. I don't know. It's just an idea. But I'm pretty sure the cupcakes meant nothing. They pretty much say it's nothing, because it turns out the dad, who is Doheny from Drake and Josh, by the way, figured out what was going on and set them up. Keep in mind, though, he already showed that he was giving the box to her before Harry and Lloyd showed up. But he said it was after Harry and Lloyd showed up that he figured out something was going on. But I swear, they showed the scene where he gives her the box before they showed up. So, man, it's a little editing issue, but I don't know. Yeah, and the Canadian guys were actually FBI watching over her. And so, yeah. And then we get something that would be on par for these movies, but it takes the entire scene. It's something like, oh, they were going after this girl, but she was married the entire time. Something we knew for most of the movie once we're introduced to Mary. And she was married and her husband was kidnapped. Here, they play it as a total surprise that Harry never needed a kidney the entire time, and that he had figured out that Lloyd was messing with him, and so he messed with Lloyd to get back at him. And so he never needed a kidney, but he didn't need to get stitched up for the bullet because he got shot. He took a bullet for Penny. It turns out Penny is not his daughter. And at one point when having the restaurant, when she reads the letter and it's mentioned where she was conceived, he thinks, Lloyd, being Lloyd, thinks that he is now her father, because that's where he was with Freda. You know a second twist? They're both virgins. Because apparently they thought sex was just fondling the boobs. They're not that stupid, okay? So they've apparently been virgin for over 20 years. They're in their 40s now, and yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a thing. And apparently it was P. Stain who was the father, because she acts like them, but she's not as funny as them because it's just repeating gags. She thinks the stuff they're doing is funny. But yeah, and then they leave on the thing, and there's a post-credit scene. There's a post-credit scene where they are on the Zamboni, and we get another encounter with Seabass from the first one, and it teases for coming 2034, 20 years later after that. Dumb and Dumber 4, spelled F-O-R, and you think, wouldn't it be Dumb and Dumber 3? Well, technically it is the fourth movie, even though they established that the prequel is not canon in this. But there's no pun you can make with 3. You could spell it tree, I guess, but I don't know. There's no pun you can make with it. The word 4, there's F-O-R 4, there's F-O-U-R 4, and there's F-O-R-E 4. But, this movie's in the middle of the road. It's not as good as the first one. It's definitely not as bad as the prequel, but You know, you got the original stars, you got the original directors. I don't know about original writers, but it has all the elements in there. I just think it revisits the elements from the first one too much. So it's the middle of the road. Now, if you don't want to hear my story of when I went to first see this movie, you can go now and forever share your piece and not talk in the goddamn hallway. People are so insensitive. Don't you lock the door on me. I heard a king. Anyway, so I went to see this movie back in December or late November, whenever it came out.
You're never gonna get this review done, are you?
So I went to see this. Every time I start talking, they start talking.
I'm seeing a pattern develop now.
So I went to see this, and it's either late November 2014 or early December because they were ringing bell. I went to see this with my friend Eric. Yes, this is an Eric story. I went to see this with, yeah, he's oh boy, yeah. I went to see this with Eric. So at the time, he was on outs with his current girlfriend at the time, which I won't mention her name, but he knows who she was. And so she ended up being a bell ringer for the Salvation Army. I can speak English. A bell ringer for the Salvation Army. Right. He wasn't exactly sure she was going to be there. He knew she was ringing bell somewhere. But we went to Hy-Vee, which is the one that used to be right there. My arm just cracked. Right there next to the building there. And then a Shopko, and the movie theater was attached to the Shopko. May the movie theater rest in peace. Anyway, so we were going to go get a couple of energy drinks, because when I was on energy drinks before I stopped because my anxiety couldn't handle it. So we went to get a couple of energy drinks. I think they were Rockstar ones, at least mine was. And he's like, okay, as we get to the first door, he sees her. I'm like, shit, let's go to him. No. I'm going to show her I'm not bothering me. So he walks in, and Eric, he likes to poke the bear. So he's like staring at her as he walks in. There's cameras, by the way. So he walks in, we get our energy drinks, he pays for them. We go to leave, and he goes to go out the first door. I'm like, no, dude, let's go to the other door. No, I'm not going to do anything. And if you know Eric, he says, I'm not going to do anything. He's going to do something. So we go out the door. I'm like, come on. And he comes out, and he stops. He's got like a can of energy drink, and he comes out, walks out to the thing, makes a splash all over the place, downs the fucking energy drink. I'm like, come on. Walks off. He goes to the second door. He's like, goes to walk. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I got to get another energy drink now. I'll have one for the movie. Fine. But we're going to go out this door. Okay, bro. So we go in. He gets the other drink. He pays for that. We go to leave. He starts to go towards the front door. I'm like, no. That door. Fine. We go out that door. He comes out the door. Walks around. Goes to the front door. Downs the energy drink. I'm like, I just want to see a movie. I'm like, come on. You're going to get us in trouble. Let's go. Fine. Walks off. Goes to the other door. What are you doing? I need another energy drink. I don't have one for the movie anymore. I'm like, dude, you're going to have a heart attack. No, I'm fine. How many have you had already? Before this? 2. Shut up. I'm like, come on. No, I need one for the movie. Fine. So we go in. He gets another one. Go out the second door. He comes out. I'm like, no, we're going to the movie. Fine. Because he saw her grab her phone, and he's like, shit, he's going to call the cops. Which she wasn't. I got to pop over to the goddamn place. Anyway, so, let's sit down now. Oh, no, I need to, I'll get back up because I need to. So we get to the movie, finally, like 2 minutes before it frickin' starts. We get in there, it's only us, maybe 2 other people in the movie. It's one of the smaller ones. So we're in there. And I'm trying to watch this. And there's a reason why I say I've only seen half of it. And it's not, I saw the first half or I just saw the second half. half of the entire movie. Whatever points I remember from the movie, half of it, that's it. Because the whole time he's sitting next to me going, what am I going to do, bro? What am I going to do? Like I said, I won't say your name, but what am I going to do about her? What am I going to do about her? I'm like, shut the fuck up is what you're going to do. I'm trying to watch the movie. Okay, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. And he's sitting there. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm like, you don't shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. He's like, I got to go take a piss. I'm like, well, yeah, get down 2 freaking energy drinks and you're sitting here with the third one. I got to take a piss. Goes out, and I'm sitting there. He takes a long time. I'm like, what's he doing? He comes in. He goes up the stairs. What are you doing? Goes down the stairs. Back up the stairs. Back down the stairs. Like, dude, fuck off. You're going to get us kicked out. Sorry. And then, like, I don't remember anything else happened, but I know he was completely on edge because he had the energy drinks going through his system. And so from that point on, I would joke. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2. I saw half that movie, to which he would respond, how many times do I have to apologize, bro? How many times do I apologize? Because he called me the next day. He's like, next morning, he's like, hey, mate, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's fine. Okay, I got to go, man. I got to try to get some sleep. I haven't slept at all. I'm not surprised. I had no sleep, man. I got to go crash. Yeah, so, yeah, yeah, so that's why I used to say I only seen half of this movie. Although I did remember most of it, so maybe my brain retained a lot of stuff that I couldn't really remember. Like going through, oh, yeah, I remember that and that. Okay, yeah, that and that. But yeah, so this review would have been longer if I hadn't. I kept having to pause it. So let's go to the cupboard of sequels to see what we're gonna do next. Okay, let's see. What should we do? I don't know. Should I find the Young Guns 2 after I promised it before? Or should I do a funny one like Airplane 2, the sequel?
You want me to pick?
City Slickers 2. I know what you'd pick because it's in here.
Well, let me see.
I know what he's going to pick. Because he's going to see it.
Which ones are?
Everything on that shelf there.
I see the one you want me to pick, but I'm not going to pick it.
Oh, no.
I won't pick it.
Okay.
I'll let you decide when you want to do that. So everything's available, right?
Everything on this shelf right here. These 3 and these ones here. Nothing behind them.
Okay.
Sometime today.
I'm working on it. Hang on. I'm
ready.
reading
Like a hat like Billy Madison. Today, Junior.
You know, because my worker used to quote this movie before he went to another site. For him, Airplane 2.
Airplane 2. All right, Airplane 2, the sequel. I've never seen any of it. I know there's a court case. That's it. That's all I know.
The only reason I brought that up was because he used to do the whole joke about, don't call me Shirley. Just to let you know, we're all counting.
Airplane 2. All right, that's the next one. By the way, just in case you guys are wondering, the one I thought he was gonna pick, Mannequin 2.
I'll let you decide that on your own time.
That some other time. So the next one I'm doing is Airplane 2, the sequel. So keep that in mind. But what are your thoughts on Dumb and Dumber 2? In the comments below, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.